Sorry, Lauren, that you get your baby sick. That is terrible. All right, so we're officially recording, and now it is week 2 of Principles of Management. I appreciate everyone for showing up. I know it's, we'd rather, as sunny and as nice as it is outside, I would rather be doing anything else but this, but we'll make this quick and painless. Let's go ahead. I will share my screen. All right, everybody should be able to see my screen then. Although I do want to look at something out of the kind of off on the side here before we actually get started. I should have looked already.
Hi, Lucy. Ow! Lucy, don't do that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, Lucy,
Stop.
that's bad.
Ow. Sorry about that.
See, some of you have already done chapter 5, but we probably need to get started on that. Bring it back over where everyone can see it. So let's just kind of look through chapter 5 here and see. Maybe you can help me out. We can help each other out. Try this again. Connection is unstable. No, if you keep saying that, the teacher's going to be unstable. Okay, we had Zoe and Alexandre show up. All right, get everybody marked down correctly. If I missed one, I think we're all good. All right, so try this in week 2. And we should be. I'm sorry it's taking so long, guys. Give me a chance here to get this up. All right, let's start with benefits and pitfalls of planning. How many people here do we have that never plan, and how many over planners do we have? Oh, geez, guys. Didn't we go through this not too long ago? All right, we're having a terrible time at this. May have to change plans. There we go. Okay. So under the benefits and pitfalls of planning. Okay, Dawn is the manager for a pet grooming shop. She has decided to engage in planning, creating goals for her employees. She created a plan to increase revenue by setting goals for each employee to upsell customers into dog pedicures and hair dyeing services, which bring in higher revenues in dog bathing and trimming. Which are the following, and one of the things I need to remember here is when we see check all that apply, there could be more than one. Okay, so what are the likely results of the planning? Somebody help me out here.
Working harder during their shifts.
Work harder during the shifts, okay. Staying after the shift to meet their goal. Pet groomers become more efficient at bathing and trimming dogs. They have more time for dog pedicures and hair dyeing. And after not hitting the revenue goals for the first month, dog employees try to stop selling up. English is hard. Dog employees stop trying to upsell customers and just focus on bathing and trimming. Any of those other ones come to mind? We'll know here in a minute. And
More
go ahead.
efficient.
We can try that one. And then in general, companies with plans have blank profits than companies without plans, smaller or larger?
Larger.
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 Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's continue, move on. My problem is, and I've known this for a long time, is when we have always had a big project coming up, I was always the over planner. And always knowing that the plan was never going to quite, be what you want to. You had to kind of stay a little flexible, and I always struggle with that. Okay, so using your knowledge of SMART goals, select the best goal. I'll outline 2 chapters of my management textbook before the class starts next Tuesday. I will study hard before my next test. I will ask my study group what they think of our professor. I will complete this class with a good grade so I can graduate.
I will outline 2 chapters of my management.
I like that one. Okay, use the following table. The following table contains the steps used in creating a workable plan. I need to order these. Okay.
Set goals is number 1.
Set goals is always number 1, right? So do we go to develop an effective action plan or develop the goals next?
Develop commitment to goals.
Then we go to develop an action plan.
Yes.
And I'll assume the next one is track progress towards goal achievement. And then maintain flexibility. Like I said, that was always my, man. It was hard to. And when you're doing stuff like we were doing pipeline and drilling, things never went to plan. Something always went awry, especially when you're dealing with heavy equipment. Stuff breaks down. Which of the following techniques can managers use to increase an employee's commitment goal? Check all that apply. Ask them to state their publicly. Ask them to participate in goal setting. Ask top management to speak publicly about their support for the employees' goals. and tell the employees what goals he or she is expected to meet.
The last
Ask
one.
employees to publicly state his or her goals.
Okay. Is that the only one? What do you guys think?
Ask employees to participate in goal setting.
I like that one as well. And then tell the employees what their goals are
That's okay.
expected to meet.
Yes.
Yes,
Now, you have to know what the expectations are, right? Okay, we'll move on to this next one. And the good thing is we'll know what we got wrong and you guys can make notes and correct it when you do yours. Use your knowledge of levels of planning to fill the 3 labels missing from the following diagram. Okay, we got first level. Okay, so we got first level managers, middle managers, and top managers.
Top
All right,
manager.
so yep, A is going to be your top manager. They're going to develop your mission. Okay, the planning and objectives
Middle managers.
middle.
will be done by your middles. Yep. And then your,
Your
of
first
course, that
level.
leaves
First
only,
level managers.
and these are the guys on the ground who are pretty much responsible for making things done, right? Okay, bad word, bad word, bad word. She couldn't believe her bad luck. The business planning cycle at All World Insurance was almost over. The only thing her boss had asked her to do was make copies of 4 sets of final plans. Each set contained a different level of planning and was supposed to be delivered to a different manager for review, but now these documents are all over the floor.
I already did this.
Everything has to be back in the right order as quickly as possible. Knowing that you are a planning expert, she asks you for your help. She tells you that the insurance company uses an aligned or cascading goal system. You can expect to see each set of plans flow in a logical way through the company. So, complete the table and help her. We are known for our operational efficiency and for reducing insurance costs at our customers. And the type of plan we have is strategic, tactical, mission, or operational.
Mission.
That's our mission statement. Human Resources Division will reduce the overall cost of fulfilling important requisitions by eliminating the use of outside recruiting agencies. What kind is that? An operational, strategic, or technical goal?
Tactical.
Oh, we got that here. Hold on. We will eliminate redundancies throughout the corporation to decrease our overall expense by 20%.
Operational.
Operational, absolutely. And each human resource employee will use advertisements and personal networking to attract at least 10 qualified applicants for open position. And that leaves us with strategic. We'll see how that works out for us in a minute. Rational decision making. Word of your management expertise is starting to spread, and recently the CEO of Box Signs, a company that develops and maintains electronic billboards similar to this one in Times Square, reached out to you for advice. Liz, the CEO, is trying to determine whether she should lay off 20% of her employees due to declining revenues. Liz wants to know if you can help her make the right decision. So first, you help get an overview of the decision-making process by outlining what steps effective decision makers use to arrive at a solution or problem. And this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Identify the order in which steps are usually taken. All right. And first one is always going to be, anybody have an idea here?
Define the problem.
Always have to define the problem. Okay. Okay, so anybody think what's next? We know way the decision criteria is going to come after identifying it. So we know it's not going to be here, right?
Evaluate each alternative. Will that be it?
Identify the criteria.
Identify the decision criteria.
Yeah, let's identify the decision criteria.
And now you
and
weigh it.
then evaluate each alternative. Actually, I think, I'm trying to remember now. Weigh the decision criteria or evaluate next.
Way.
Way.
Okay.
And then we go to evaluate each alternative. We're going to compute the optimal decision and then generate an alternate course of action. Do we agree or disagree with that order there, guys? Anybody want to switch anything around? All right. Next, we discuss some of the problems that can occur in the various phases in the decision process. For example, when defining the problem, they should be careful to generate new ideas instead of considering only tried and true solutions. To fully understand she should be careful to fully understand the gap between current and ideal states, and she should also not to use satisficing rather than maximizing as a decision-making approach.
To fully understand the gap between current and ideal states.
Right. I think a lot of companies are going through that right now, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay, so group decision businesses commonly rely upon groups to make decisions because of many advantages group decision making. Which the following are advantages of group decision making? Check all that apply, which means there could be more than one answer. Equality bias, which causes individuals to treat all group members as equally competent. Enhanced communication of the decision may result. Groupthink may occur, and better decisions generally emerge.
All of them.
Better
All of them.
decisions, I said better decisions generally emerge.
All of
Yeah,
them.
Groupthink, I wouldn't say groupthink.
I think we're all of the above on this one.
All of them. Yeah.
All those things may happen. Although I'm not sure if I've ever seen somebody treat all group members as equally competent. We always know, who the people and what their jobs are, right?
Yeah, that first
That
one
would
ain't
be-
on there.
I will take that one off. And then after I reread it, I was like, well, I've been in a lot of meetings in my life. The best decision-making technique to use for teams that do not meet face-to-face is the brainstorming, the nominal group technique, or the Delphi technique.
Brainstorming.
Delphi.
Delphi.
I think it's Delphi
Okay.
too.
I got two. Okay, well, we got 2-1 here. Sorry about that, Michael. Hey, that's why we're here, right? All right. Let's see how well we did. I know we missed. Okay. Now we get to go through them. We got 78. Good gosh. Let's see, what did we miss?
We missed a question. It was a question and we missed.
Okay, so on this first one here. Oh, did we miss a question? Okay, we'll catch up here. We missed that staying past their shift. That was one we got wrong. Need to add that one in. Which I should have actually considered that one, considering my daughter's in retail. They do some of the similar stuff, and she stays after quite a bit. What did we miss here? We got everything right here, everything right here. Oh, we were wrong. We do not tell the employees what goals they're expected to meet, and we should ask top management to speak publicly.
Mm.
All right, on this one, on number 3, got everything right. Oh, we did miss a question here. A manager who allocates 1 million to one product while reserving 250,000 for another project is using budgeting, right?
Yes.
Budgeting. Okay. And we revert strategic and operational. Make sure you guys, when you do your own, and if you want, I can always slow down here and make sure you get a good, if you want to go back and look at the video later, get a good shot of the explanation of the answers. All right, so we missed something in here too. We got 1, 2, and 3 right, and we misplaced 4, 5, and 6.
Mm.
4, all right, that is 6, 5, 4. So it should have went define the problem, identify the decision criteria, weigh the decision criteria, generate alternate courses of action, evaluate each alternative, and compute the optimal decision. And that took care of that. Groupthink was not right.
We said all of them.
Well, it's only, if you notice, it has a green check mark showing that we got the answer right, which means we didn't check this one, so it's right. We did check this one, so it's right. We didn't check that one, so I unchecked it. And then we did check that one, so it's right. So groupthink is not an issue. Oh, and if I would have read the question, which are the advantages of group decision making? Groupthink is not an advantage. Neither is a quality bias. So I kind of read past it too quickly. Delphi is the best method used for teams that do not meet face to face. It is a method of systematically gathering judgments of experts to reach a decision on an issue or idea. In the nominal group technique, team members independently rank or vote on ideas, and the highest average rank is selected. In brainstorming, the group builds on each other's ideas to generate a large number of ideas. Now, we just did something similar to that here. We had to fill out an email or a survey showing what our strengths, weaknesses, and everything else of our company. Because I don't know if you guys realize we're still going transition, although we have a new full-time campus president. He is still working his way through the steps and will be for quite a few months. But everybody should get 100 on that one when it's all said and done. All right. Lavonda, let me make sure I have you down here. And I remember putting you down as being here. Nope, I did not. Now we'll double check and make sure I didn't miss anyone. All right. All right, so we got 20 questions or 20 answers here on chapter 6. Talk about sustainable competitive advantage. Speaking of sustainable and competitive, how do you guys feel? Who's still drinking Bud Light right now? Everybody seen how that's blown up? Can't we just drink our beer and everybody have their own opinion? I mean, I'm not a Bud Light fan anyway, never was, but I'm kind of a beer snob. you know, well, you know, it's not like when we was in the Army and we could go to the PX, and then back in the early 90s for 95 cents, you get an Old English 840 ounce. And then go to Taco Bell, spend the other $3 you had left in your account on Taco Bell, and that would be your dinner for that night, because you knew which ATMs would give you $5. They actually had ATMs around Fort Bragg that would give you only $5. You know, old broke soldiers. So when a company's resources are valuable, rare, imperfectly imitable, and non-sustainable, it has a what? A competitive advantage or a sustainable competitive advantage?
Maybe competitive advantage.
Oh, non-substitutable. I'm sorry, I said non-sustainable. It's not non-substitutable. Imperfectly imitable. I'm going to go to sustainable competitive advantage. Yeah.
Yes.
Because if there's no substitute, if you're kind of running the whole show and no one has anything to compete with you against, we're talking about 2006 or 7 with Apple and the iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while for Samsung and those guys to catch up.
Right.
Necessary to sustain a competitive advantage, blank resources are not controlled or possessed by many competing firms. So
Valuable.
not valuable. Okay, we will go with that. You guys do better when you don't listen to me anyway. Strategy making process is your knowledge of the strategic process to select the 3 missing terms in the following diagram. We have internal, external, and risk avoiding strategies. So we've got step 1, assess need for strategic change, which avoid competitive inertia and look for strategic dissonance. Okay, under step 2, we're missing A and B. So we have a situational analysis. Okay, we have A and B, which those are going to be either internal or external criteria, I believe. So A should be when you conduct your situational analysis right here.
And B.
Internal.
Should be internal strengths and weaknesses, and then external opportunities and threats, right?
Internal.
Yeah. Yep. Your strengths and weaknesses are going to be internal, but your opportunities and threats are going to be an external. And then we have the risk of avoiding strategies, which is we're going to have choose strategic alternatives. We have risk avoiding strategies, strategic reference points, and risk seeking strategies. I like the way that one looks. Use a SWOT analysis, which is what we just did on a survey through CCC, not you guys, but the faculty, and they're trying to figure out how to make the company and the school better. In a SWOT analysis, which takes place during strategy, blank is an important part of strategic planning process. Everybody agree with formulation, right?
Formulation.
And then we have, when referring to a SWOT analysis, the letter W stands for work, weakness, worst case scenario, or weight. For me, it stands for weight, but in general, it's not what it stands for.
Worst case scenario, huh?
Weaknesses. SWOT, yeah. Because when you do a SWOT analysis, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Just like if you look right up here, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. That's what SWOT stands for. And then it refers to the factors that are blank to the organization.
Internal.
Organization.
Internal, yep. Internal weaknesses. Those can be a lot of things, right? Those could be your internal, some of your internal weaknesses could be, hard time finding employees, not enough employees, not the right employees, budgetary constraints. Okay. I mean, how long, there's many reasons why, you could have weaknesses, and they're not something that, you did wrong. That's what we got to consider. It's, sometimes just how, like external factors now, trying to find employees right now has been, every time I turn around and talk to anybody I used to do business with, they are just catching trying to find employees. And then if you just go from place to place to place, you see that a lot of these places are having a hard time. I don't think they've actually opened up the inside of Kentucky Fried Chicken and Okmulgee more than a dozen times this last year. They're so short of employees, they just run the drive-through. And when I want chicken and coleslaw, I got time to wait in the drive-through. Dang. When a company purchases another business, that means that sorry, English is hard tonight, really hard. When a company purchases another business that something different from the purchasing company does, the purchasing company is using a strategy of, it's a pretty easy one.
Unrelated.
Unrelated.
Unrelated, yep, unrelated diversification. Although many times, I know as far as related to diversification, anybody ever see the American Waste running around Tulsa? The kind of tan trucks.
Mm-hmm.
A guy named Kenny Burkett, him and his brother-in-law started that company with one garbage truck back in the day. And they got much bigger. I sold them oil for years. I sold them equipment for their shop and things of that nature. And as he went along and made more money, he started to do what we call related diversification, which basically means he went and at some point bought his own landfill. So he'd have to stop paying to dump his stuff at other people's landfills, and he could charge other people. He went and bought another building and created a machine shop. So the big hydraulic pistons that go on those trucks, he could repair on his own without having to be sent off. He went and bought a larger building and made a much larger shop, hired more guys so he could repair all his trucks instead of sending stuff to be off. And he did all this and all this related to his business. And 20 years later, he buys a private jet, all off of garbage. And we wonder why the mob, was so big into waste management, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretend that you own a small coffee shop. You've decided that this year is a good time to grow your business, and you have chosen to do so by acquiring another coffee shop one town over. This is an example of related diversification, unrelated diversification, or vertical integration.
Vertical integration.
Vertical integration, that one. Same business, same model. You're just buying another one. You're integrating another coffee shop into your business plan.
Okay.
And we'll know if it's right here in a minute. Diversification is useful because it allows companies to downsize or retrench more effectively. It creates more unified corporate culture. It slows the growth of business, giving managers time to reassess their strategic plan, or prevents companies from becoming too dependent on one business unit. That's a pretty obvious answer, right?
Yeah,
This
the
one right
last
here?
one.
Yeah.
It's-
Use your knowledge of the Boston Consulting Group matrix to select the correct labels for the following image. All right, so on A, are these all low and high? On A, invest heavily, low or high?
A.
A, low. Oh, is that what I heard? No.
No. Star.
Anybody disagree or agree?
It has to be high because
It
you're
has to be
investing.
high. Because it's heavily.
Okay, on B, we have
Yeah, take
relative market share or market growth.
Growth.
Market growth.
Go with that one. C, small or large.
Small.
Okay. D, I wasn't trying to point you any direction. I was just easing down. And then D, relative market share or market growth.
Market share.
This is a hard one, isn't it? We'll see here in a minute. Suppose you've accepted a job as the president and CEO of a large transportation conglomerate. Over the years, the conglomerate has acquired a number of unrelated divisions. Your first action as CEO is to complete strategic plan. Okay, so we have shipping, the shipping business, growth rate is low. You have a small market share. Cargo inspection business, growth rate is high. You have a small, you have a 5% market share. Railroad loading, you have a low growth with a large market share. And freight forwarding, high growth with a relatively high market share. Which of the following divisions would you take profits from and continue to run?
Freight.
Freight, I like that one.
Freight.
And like I said, we'll see how we do. Then you guys can make sure it's all corrected. And we're making a pretty good time. On October 10th, 2006, Google purchased YouTube for $1.65 billion. I remember that. In 2008, the New York Times reported that Michael Buckley was making $100,000 a year from YouTube advertisements. Speaking of another YouTube thing, anybody see the thing on Mr. Beast as well? Looks like he may be having issues. I like Mr. Beast, and he'd be nice to him. He did a lot of nice things for people. He took a bunch of people and corrected their vision, and what else did he do? He's
He
been
has
giving
his
away
own
cars.
burger shop.
He did what?
He has his own restaurant in
Yeah.
California.
He also has his own candy bar too.
Hmm.
So, but I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he goes, online and they do, well, as I best describe as bro stuff, right? What your most guys would do, but he gives a lot of stuff away as well. So hope whatever happens to him next is positive. Use the following facts to help you analyze the competitive environment for people seeking to make money on YouTube. YouTube has a partner program that has 3 requirements. Partners must create original content that can be streamed. Partners must own the content or have express permission to monetize it. And partners must upload videos that are seen by thousands of users. Videos in the partner program may either be rented for a fee or have advertisements associated with them. If a video has associated advertising, ads will be chosen based on criteria by YouTube and the advertisers. So according to Michael Porter, the fact that it is relatively easy to become a YouTube partner is an example of rivalry among competitors, the threat of substitutes, the bargaining power of buyers, and potential new entrants.
the party.
Bargaining power of buyers. Let me make sure I read this right here. Okay, so according to Michael Porter, the fact that it is relatively easy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The bargaining.
Bargaining power of buyers. Okay, we'll look at that. In this case, barriers are pretty low,
Yeah. No.
and the blank is influenced by all other competitive forces. Rivalry among competitors, maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last one here, a company that uses tight cost controls is likely to use low cost leadership strategy. That is, we're gonna call that one true. Different. That word, strategies can reduce the bargaining power of large buyers.
False.
And when using a focus strategy, a company tries to create a product that will appeal to the broadest possible customer base.
Oh, is that true?
That's true.
That's true.
Is that true? Okay, we're about to find out. I actually think that one might have been false because it said targeting strategy, but we'll look at it here in a minute.
Okay.
Which of the following would be considered competitors? Walgreens and CVS, American Eagle Outfitters and Children's Place, or Applebee's and Chipotle?
Walgreens and CVS.
That's
Yes.
pretty easy one.
Yes. Walgreens and CVS.
When comparing two companies like Ulta and Walgreens, we would expect, and I'm proud to say, I've only seen Ulta from the outside through the windshield as I sit in there waiting for it to come out. When comparing two companies like Ulta and Walgreens, we would expect that they have low market commonality, right?
Yes.
And blank resources similarity. I'm not sure of that one. Low or high?
No.
Hi.
High? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay. Can we grade yet? All right, let's grade it and see how terrible.
Oh, we didn't do
Ooh.
too
We
bad.
didn't do too bad, but we did bad.
That's a little rough. Let's figure out where we messed up here. It was not valuable. It was rare. Necessary to stay in a competitive advantage, rare resources are not controlled or possessed by many competing for rare resources. Okay. All right. Yes. When you reread them and think about it, sometimes it just kind of pops out at you. Looks like we did all these right. All right, we got unrelated diversification. That's correct. It was not vertical integration. It was, didn't you own a coffee shop? We're gonna say related diversification. Okay, that one was on me. Got that one right. And the only one we got here wrong here was C should be large. Okay. Oh, I'd have been wrong again. Which of the following divisions would you take profits from and continue to run?
Cargo inspection.
Go inspector. Nope.
Nope. Ooh,
Railroad loading?
railroad loading. And I'm not, to be able to, according to Boston Consulting Group Matrix, the four business would be classified as shipping would be a dog. This company has low business growth rate and a small relative market share. The cargo inspection should be a question mark. This company has a high business growth rate, but a small relative market share. The railroad loading should be the cash cow. Okay. This company has a low business growth rate, but a large relative market share. And the freight forwarding star, this company has a high business growth rate and large relative market share because the reason we should not have picked that one, which is one of the things we should have thought about, is you're going to turn a lot of that money you make into this, back into the company to help finance that growth, right?
Mhm.
Because growing, if you have a high growth rate and you're going to have to turn a lot of that money back through into the company to finance that growth. All right. Should know bargaining power of buyers. According to my report, the fact that they're relatively easy to become a YouTube partner example of the threat of substitutes. Oh. Potential entrants where the barriers are low. Okay. Differential interest can reduce the bargaining power of large companies. True. And when using a focus strategy, a company tries to create a product that will appeal to the broadest possible customer base, which I think I'd said something about that being false because they use the word focus strategy. And
Mhm.
so when you're focusing in, we're not looking at the broadest possible customer base. We're looking at, once again, we can go back to Bud Light, who's trying to focus on a subsection of the population, a relatively small one, right? And their supporters. But I also have friends when I go back to Texas and we go hang out and play golf and play cards. Those guys drink natural light. I have a buddy always has a cooler full of natural light in the back of his truck 24/7. Hard to do. We got Walgreens and CVS, right? And two competing companies like Ultra Walgreens would expect they would have a
Hi.
high market commonality and a low resource similarity. Well, low resource similarity makes sense, but high market commonality, let's see, Ultra Walgreens both carry cosmetics and skincare items and therefore have high market commonality. That's not the core business of Walgreens. So I don't know but we're going to agree with the book on this one. And low resource similarly, Ultra positions itself as the expert in makeup and skincare with in-store salon service, while Walgreens carries a limited amount of cosmetic and skincare items, as well as some grocery and other personal care items that has in in-store pharmacies. Walgreens is expensive too. I just want to bring that up.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so that was that one. We got 5 and 6 done. Everybody should have those answers marked down. So when you go do them later, bada bing, bada boom, everybody makes a good grade. Everybody goes home happy. Any questions or concerns? She'd have grunted at me again. Any questions or concerns or anything here?
No.
Anybody? What I'm going to do is I will go ahead and I will stop the recording, which will end the class. If anybody wants to stick around for Alexander, you're running 2 different things here. You're getting
Yeah, I
feedback.
just noticed that.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Let me go ahead and stop the recording. Class is over.